In order to create an effective DVD presentation, you need to plan ahead. For example, if you have a great piece of behind-the-scenes footage you want to put on your DVD, how are users going to get to it? What is the series of menus and buttons that they will have to navigate through in order to find it? Will it even be worth watching after going through all the effort to find it? Now, you could plan your DVD ahead of time, say with paper and pencil, and then create DVD navigation using the menu viewer or the properties panel. Or you can do all of these things, do them much faster, and troubleshoot your entire project at a glance by simply using the flowchart feature in Adobe Encore CS3. So let's open up the flowchart by clicking on the flowchart tab, which by default is grouped with the monitor and the menu viewer. And if you'd like to follow along, you can find the source files used in this tutorial in the details area of the video workshop. So what we're looking at here is a completely fresh DVD project. Assets have been imported, but no links have been set up anywhere. As you can see in my project panel, the main movie timeline is currently set as my first play, which is the first thing that plays on a DVD. The first play item in your project is denoted by a little yellow circle with an arrow in it here in the project panel, and also at the top when an object is selected. If we look over at our flowchart, you can see this arrow coming off of the DVD icon, which tells us the first play. But I don't want to start my DVD with a timeline. I want my DVD to start with a menu. To change the navigation, all I have to do is click and drag from the bar underneath the DVD icon to the menu I want to use instead of the timeline. In this case, I want the first play to be the main menu. Simply let go of the mouse, and the main menu replaces the main movie timeline as our new first play. From the list below the menu, we see a representation of all the buttons in that menu. We can even set navigation for menu buttons from the flowchart. In the same way we change the first play asset, simply click a button and drag to an asset to create a link. I'm going to select the Scene Selection button by clicking on it with the Selection tool and dragging it to the Chapter menu. This creates a link so that when users click the Scene Selection button, they're taken to the Chapter menu. I'm also going to create links from the Play Movie button and the Behind the Scenes button. If you ever want to undo a link you've set up in the flowchart, simply go to the Edit menu and select Undo. Another essential part of DVD creation is setting end actions, which define what the DVD does once the currently playing item has finished. We can also set end actions from right here in the flowchart. After the main movie is done playing, I want the viewers to be taken back to the main menu. So what I will do is click on the main movie timeline in the flowchart and then drag a link to the main menu. This will tell Encore that we want to go back to the main menu after the timeline is done playing. Now make sure that you set up links with the Selection tool and not the Move tool. The Move tool allows you to move these pieces around if you want, but it's the Selection tool that allows you to create links. Notice also that end action objects are a little bit faded here in the flowchart. We could also use the flowchart to do a little troubleshooting. Sometimes we have assets that we bring into our Encore projects with the intention of using, but we forget to create a link to them. Assets that don't have a link are called orphans, and they will generate errors when you output them to DVD because those assets will not be seen on the final DVD. This area at the bottom of the flowchart is referred to as the orphanage because it gives us a visual representation of all the assets in our project that are not being used. Create links as necessary to ensure that all assets that you want seen in your DVD are being used. Remember that anything left in the orphanage when you build the DVD will be left off and won't be used. Using the Encore flowchart is just a more efficient way to plan DVDs and to create navigation. And remember that the flowchart can also help as a troubleshooting tool because we can quickly glance at where the project links are, as well as end actions, first play, and unused project assets.